Okay, let's see how we go with this one. This is an interesting one. Don't know what we're going to do with it. Going to make it look interesting, hopefully. How big are we going to make it? I wonder what background colour we're going to give this. So if we're going to give it a background colour as blue or cyan, we've got to take out some of that red, and maybe this is no good like that. So we're just changing things around a bit. Let's see how we go with this one. There's going to be a lot of yellow in this version, I think, so we've got to choose a colour that, yeah, so we're going to make it either blue or cyan. We're going cyan and see how we go. What is it? It is something I don't agree with. Once again, it is yoga for kids, for 7 to 12-year-olds. Well, I don't believe yoga is really that healthy, to be honest. I don't understand how it works, but I don't like it. It's just something I don't agree with, yoga. I wouldn't recommend it even for adults, let alone little children. So I always feel that the word yoga just sounds like a mushed up brain, like everything just turns soft and mushy, and it's not terribly intellectual, so I don't like it. It's just a bit mushy. It's a bit like eating mushy peas, I suppose. I suppose that's one way of looking at it. Now that looks interesting. I think we'll use that. But it's like eating mushy peas, and it's not all that. Especially when you're talking Edgell tinned peas from a tin, like in Edgell ones, they taste absolutely horrid, and they look horrid. So basically, yoga is a little bit like mushed up Edgell peas. Yuck. I just don't have any like for it. So it's a bit mushy. I mean, a lot of people seem to think that it gets rid of stress and that, but I just don't. I've never tried it, so maybe, you could disagree with me if you like, what I think. You have every right to. No, we don't want the cyan. We want to get rid of that. You have every right to. But basically, my gut feeling tells me that there's something wrong with yoga. So it's not something I would recommend. Wondering if maybe if we make it too red, we're going to make it fucked again. So we're just going to keep the red in the middle and keep the hue, maybe warm it up. Actually, if we warm it up, it's going to get too green. We don't want it so green anyway. We're going to just cool it down a bit. But yeah, I just don't like the idea of yoga. It's not my cup of tea. So this is what we're working with. Let's see if we can make it look interesting. Let's see how we make this picture look. I'm actually thinking maybe I should have used yellow instead, but I didn't. I was expecting to find a lot of yellow on it. But anyway, that looks terrible. Sorry, folks. That looks shit. Look at all that green. It's all blended. Ick. It's like ick. Yuck. I think I chose the wrong one. Wondering if I might pick it off the recycle pile again. So I'm just going to go. I've got to set this silly thing back to the where I had it. So this is going to be a bit of a pain in the arse, trying to go backtrack for a change. I don't normally do it like this, but we're going to now change things around. I'm going to add the red because we're going to use yellow, and the hue is going to be quite cool. and we're just going to add yellow as a background colour instead of stupid cyan. Cyan doesn't go, so we're just going to put that aside, and we're just going to go and pick it off the recycle pile. I don't normally do this, but I fucked it up, so I'm just going to take this and I'm going to put it back and try again, see if we can make it look better. So let's see how we go. So we just slide that around. Let's see how we go. See if the yellow is an improvement. Let's see if that looks better. Whoa, it looks shit. For some reason, oh, I know why, I forgot to switch it to negative mode. That's why it looks terrible. It looks absolutely horrid. So we're going to we're just making a lot of errors here, folks, with this job. This is what we were meant to put on, the negative image setting. So we're going to try that again. Going to put that there and try again. See if we can make it look better. It's not an easy, doing copier configuration art isn't always easy, as you can see. A lot of people usually assume that because you're using a machine, it's not difficult, it's too easy, but using photocopiers is a difficult thing as an art form. That looks interesting, but wondering if we're going to use it or we're going to try it again. We've got a lot of yellow in it now, funnily enough. Surprise not. We seem to be fucking this one up heaps, excessively. I don't know why we're fucking it up. It's just the way that it is. We're just going to go here and... Shit, why are we fucking this job up? What's so fucking hard about this? Honestly, folks. It shouldn't be that bloody hard. So we're just going to cool it down further. And so frustrating when I get a project like this that I just can't seem to make work. So I only just had that corner of the image on that last page. That looks shit house. So let's see if we can make this come up a treat. Yeah, that looks more interesting. Wondering if that's going to be the corner. Again, we just seem to be getting things into the corner rather than the whole page. So I'm wondering if we're still going to, if we can use that corner piece. We can consign that to the recycle and maybe put this corner piece up here, which is a little bit difficult putting it right up in the corner of all places for a corner piece. So we're just going to try and do our best to make this look good. And we're going to enlarge that section. So we're going to go here, and it looks like 200, but I think it might be bigger than 200, just quietly, folks. So now I'm just going to switch that off, remove the yellow. I don't think yellow worked out better after all, for some odd reason. I think the hue is going to the centre. We're going to keep the red on, keep that dark, and see what happens. It's often the operative word, folks, see what happens. Okay, let's see how that looks. Whoa, that looks interesting, but it looks shit as well, and we got too much of this ugly stuff up there. We don't want it, and it just looks ugly. It doesn't look hardly any good, to be honest. I'm really struggling here, folks, with this one. We forgot to set it to copied paper anyway, and we're just going to go and enlarge a bit bigger along the horizontal. So we're going to make the horizontal 230, and this will be 180, going it that way. And I don't know how we're going to correct this shit. I think maybe this has got to be put on standard. We've got to remove all this heavy shit and I think we might have to lighten up the brightness a bit. We don't want it, now that we're copying in positive mode, we don't need it all the way. Maybe the red could go to 0, and the hue, we'll just leave the hue like that. We're just going to set it up in a basic sort of a manner, and we're just going to see how that works. Instead of overdoing the features, we're just going to make this look a little less. So this demo is already prolongated, so I don't know how well this is going to work. I had a feeling this colour scheme was going to be a little bit difficult to work with. This silly purple shades of purple. Now we've fucked it up. That looks nice, so maybe it's not so bad. Maybe we can get rid of that, but we're going to put back 200%. We don't want to just have that ugly fucking edge, so we're just going to get rid of that edge by replacing it at, is this going to be 200 or is it going to be 190? So we're just going to punch it to 200, and this one will go 240 with the horizontal to get rid of the writing. And I'm thinking now we should get stuck in. This is not going to be a very good demo from what I can tell. I'm not totally happy with it. The colours and shit. Even though I like the blue shirt, that looks really nice. Let's see if we've made it look better. So, just thinking that's going to be the centre of the job. It's an interesting result. So I'm thinking, if we're going to, how are we going to do this? I think, shit. What are we going to do? We're just going to print off another. This is not going to be the greatest demo on earth. I don't like the composition of this. I got a gut feeling, but anyway, we don't want to spend too much time on one demo, especially if it's not going to work out all that well. Maybe someone else might appreciate the colour scheme and the layout of this rather dysfunctional little demo that we've done. For something that's not that good, it's a bit big. It's not an easy one, this one. This is not going to be one of my favourite demos. Normally a prolongated demos, I normally find something interesting to say, or something, or the image comes out really good after a hard battle, but now I don't think this demo is worth all the fighting. But I could be wrong. Maybe when I set it up, put all these pieces together, it may not look so bad. The blue looks good, I must say, and the yellow in the eyes and the features looks good. So maybe it's not so bad. Maybe we just have to set it up on the bed nice and neat, if we can avoid the issues of the curls, the curliness of the paper, which just makes it difficult to get a good alignment of the pieces. It's not the greatest demo, maybe not the worst. I think now we can just call it quits.